All right, so this is going to be the first step in the sales process. And so there's two ways to break out introduction. One is in prospecting, one is in the sales cycle. And I'm just going to touch on the prospecting for a quick moment because I think a lot of people get stuck here. And I think it's important because the introduction in the prospecting is going to get you to the introduction in the sales cycle. And the introduction that I started doing probably about 5 or 6 years ago is I started going, "Hey, I'm Clayton and yours." And I would almost add the hand movement all from time to time too. But like when you're out on the street, you're at a farmer's market, you're on a plane, you're subway, train, bus, whatever it is. When you're out in public, it's the easiest icebreaker because like a lot of times people they sit there stiff, and they're like, well, what do I say to someone to start a conversation? Because you want to talk to them, and then you're thinking, well, maybe I'll make a comment with their shoes or their shirt or their hair or whatever, or maybe something happens which gets me to talk to him. And that's the easiest way to break introduction and prospecting is just say, hey, I'm Clayton and yours, which will then eventually get you the sales cycle. But the introduction for a sales cycle, that aspect of it typically is small talk. It's jokes. It's 5 minutes, lasts usually no longer than 5 minutes, and it's about getting someone's attention. So again, in the introduction, you have to have someone's attention. Otherwise, they're thinking about whatever else they want, what's on social media, what they ate earlier, what they're going to eat later, what their kids have been screaming about, whatever it is. So you need to make sure that you have a good 3 to 5 minutes of small talk. And so, like, a lot of times when I'm on the phone, I'll say, "Oh, hey, how are you?" They'll be like, "Good, how are you?" And I'm like, "Oh, I'm hanging in there." And like I'll use this voice inflection, and then I'll like just chuckle, "Hanging in there." And then the other person starts to laugh. Now I have their attention. And then I'll say, "Hey, how's the family? How's this? How's that? How's your day been?" And I'm creating this small talk because I'm trying to pull them in. But the introduction is all about building rapport so that way people want to spend the next 30 to 45 minutes with you when you have a conversation with them about whatever product you're selling, and in this case, insurance. So, again, introduction from a prospecting standpoint, just introduce your name. Hey, I'm Clayton and yours. And then you can ask them what they do. From a sales cycle, what you're going to be doing here is just creating about 3 to 5 minutes of small talk. Be invested in the client if you expect them to invest their money into you.